background me once you eat. Mo, it's 4:30 and it's 5 o'clock in the morning, for Christ's sake. And the theta stuff, I agree with you guys 100%. I've never used it, but I agree with everything you're saying because you reflect what many others say. And if I could have easily have done it, I think I would have. Speaking with Doug down there at Anon, he was a little unsure of a couple things with the Anon also. So I just chose not to do it. And I think what I'm doing, guys, I'm just using that as a tool to push me towards upgrading the radio itself to maybe a 200D, maybe one of the newer ones. I'd like to get an 8000. I know they quit making those. So anyhow, we shall see. The problem with that is I'm a CW guy. Yeah, I said those two letters, didn't I? AM, CW, a lot of guys told you with rocks and garbage, but I enjoy it. And the performance of the 100B is just unbelievable. I've had a lot of radios through here, a lot of the 10Techs and 7800, and a lot of them were, superb on CW. Had a 1000 MP with cascaded 400 hertz in-rad filters back in the day. I thought that was a cat's butt. Along comes the 100B, and the selectivity is just absolutely incredible. And as you guys know, the CW note, as well as the sideband audio, is just off the hook. What I'm getting at is that to upgrade, I don't think I'd see very little change in performance, but that's okay. That's okay. Again, Perry, that ham radio disease, we don't need to justify anything. We're hams. Anyhow, I rebooted. Interested to know if that reverb is still there. Like I said, I don't appear to have it anywhere else. Then again, I rarely am up at this end of the band.
I think I know what it is. Ed, it sounds like you're right on the verge of feedback on extremely high frequencies. Do you have, you know how you have that slight little ringing tone, like on live stage mics, if you have the audio turned up high enough and have the treble boosted enough that you're getting a slight bit of very high frequency ringing? Do you have your highs boosted pretty much, like way up there, like 5, 6, 7,000 hertz over?
Let me take a look. Hang on. Yes, I do.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing that ringing. It's almost ready to go into some sort of feedback. That's what it is. I don't know if Perry knows exactly what I'm saying. It's like if you're on stage and you turn your PA up and you have your treble boosted to high frequencies on the mixing board too much, you'll hear that very high frequency ringing coming in. That's exactly what it is. Personally, I don't see any reason to be boosting 6, 7, 8 kC up that way with any sort of microphone, but that's that's an individual preference. But anyway, there you go, W2SDR, and my microphone here is a Shure SM7. I've had this bolted to this FT101 system for a long time now, so we haven't changed mics in a while. Going into a mic preamp, a Symmetrix 528. Then I use the Inovonics 223 as a limiter before the 101, but the 101 works good with D104 also. So, but I don't. I had the rack sitting here, so I'm using it. So that's that. And I forget all the little features that DDIS has, but depends what you use a radio for. That 144 frames, I don't really get that. That whole bit, because of the I couldn't see any difference at all appreciably. I think that's like a gaming thing, I don't think the software is that intense that it makes a difference in in SDR software to need that kind of frame rate. I mean, I could see, jet planes flying across the screen or race cars and stuff making a difference, but, signals going up and down, I don't see where it makes any kind of a difference, to be honest with you. But that's just me. But it's fun, I think I have mine set at 60, and because that's what the frame rate is of my Dell monitors. Yeah, boy, I was thinking of getting another laptop to use a laptop in the car with my Fusion stuff. I've been looking around at these Smart 4 laptops. I guess Microsoft makes them. They're real little and thin. They almost look like Chromebooks. And I don't know, that might be down the road. I'll have to see. I'm going to try running the laptop I already have, the old Dell laptop, in the car and see what happens. I'd have to get one of those little inverters to charge it, or to keep it charged anyway. So just another ham radio project. W3 in the group. W2SDR. And you were hitting 40 over one of those transmissions, Perry. W2SDR.
AJ1G.
All right. Didn't catch that breaking station. I was writing something down, but I did hear somebody break in. Anyway, W3MMR in the group. I got a good recording of it, Ed. I can send to you so you can hear it. I'll format it and everything, and I'll send you the link. But anyway, I think you might be on the right track there, Pop. Hopefully that's what it is, and that can be taken care of. Because it looks like, Ed, you're limited to plus or minus 5. It looks like your filter's set at 10 kc, so, or the high end of 5,000 hertz. So, I mean, you're not gonna anything above that. Nobody's even hearing because of the limiting there. So, for example, with my in my CFC. The top frequency in my CFC is 3,200 hertz. Okay, and I'm up at one line at 3,200 hertz. At 2,600 hertz, I'm up one line. I'm up a half a line, half a segment at 2,000 hertz. Then I'm right in the middle at 1,750, and then I have a series of cuts all the way down to 50 hertz. So it's boosted, one little bit, one little segment in the top end there. So that's all I'm doing there. And then I also have more cut using the EQ, the regular EQ. I have the 6,000 and 5,000 hertz sliders at minus 12 dB, 4,000 hertz sliders at minus 6, 2,000 is at minus, I guess that would be minus 2 dB. So I've pretty much almost all cut. teeny bit of boost. Around 3,000 hertz there. And I have a big cut at 5,000 and 4,000 because I get this, my sibilance is real sharp. If you hear it, you almost feel like a whistle. When I talk in person, so I have to really put a cut in there to try to get rid of that. And I'm on an SM7B as well. I switch back and forth between this and a Behringer B1. But this SM7B has been my go-to since I got it there. So I guess that's it for this go around. So we'll turn it back out to I'll turn it over to the braking station, and the braking station can turn it to Ed K8EWM. This is W3MMR.
Good morning, Ed. Good morning, Perry. Good morning, Frank. Very, very loud signals into southeastern Connecticut this morning. Ed, my name is Chris, Charlie Hotel Romeo India Sierra, and I am in the southeast corner of the southeasternmost town of the state of Connecticut, in Stonington, Connecticut. Pretty crisp here this morning, in the 20s, I believe. I haven't looked at the thermometer yet, but definitely a crisp one, a clear one. Big old moon hanging out. And we got through the storm okay with all that wind. Did a yard survey yesterday. Just got a lot of dead wood out of the trees. Checked my neighbor's place for him, who's not home right now. They had a piece of trim. They have these what do they call these split systems, the combined heating and air conditioning heat pump units with they've got external like hoses for refrigerant and wire on the outside of the house where they go from the unit, the main compressor, I guess, or whatever you call heat exchanger unit on the ground, and then distribution up on the upper floor. And on the west side of the house, that screaming west wind popped the cover off the ductwork that sends it up the side of the house. And I thought it was a gutter lying on the ground when I went over there. It's actually a piece of trim. So it didn't look like it was damaged, just got unseated by the wind. So that was good. A lot of people still without power down here. I got a text from one of my guys I work with, lives in town here, and he's out of power over in Westerly. I was surprised he was still out last night. And he's got a big generator, so he's probably just burning a lot of gas over there right now. And, this is probably the worst time to have a power outage with the cold. We were lucky; they just upgraded our power in our area. They put a brand new poles in, very high, cleared a lot of trees back, brought down three-phase power. There's a surge plant down here about a mile away on the loop, the power loop here, and they sent in three-phase power from two different directions for that, which means that we have three-phase high-grade power, feeders that have been all upgraded and made super safe and reliable. So we're on a good loop right now here, so hopefully we won't lose it too much. I do like to exercise the generators. I might be hitting a little too hard. I got the scope blown up and I'm not seeing my waveform. I might want to knock it down a little bit. Switch that up. Sorry about that. Just put my audio monitor on here. So, Ken, or Ed, we're running very old equipment here on the transmit side, a 1955 Central Electronics 20A multi-phase exciter, runs all modes, sideband, AM, even does narrowband FM and CW. It puts out about 20 watts, and that's driving a 1956 grid-driven 813 and AB1, a 1956 Central Electronics 600L amplifier. It's rated for like 200 watts carrier input, and that's where I'm running it at. Probably getting about 100 out of it. So over to you. K8, I believe it is, or W8EWM. I think it's KAJ1G.
Okay, AJ1G, I believe. I got most of that. Kilowatt 8 Echo Whiskey Mike. Excuse me, name is Ed, Echo Delta, and I'm about 55 miles east of Cleveland. And pretty good signal. Unfortunately, there's a couple guys, or one guy up on 3892 that when he gets on, he just obliterated you, but got most of it, got your transmitter and that. Good morning from 28 degrees, snowy Geneva, Ohio. And Perry and Frank, I want to thank you for the critiquing of the audio and pushing in the right direction. And knock down those frequencies. Anything above 4,500. Real quick, is it still there?
it's still there.
One last thing, Perry, if you could.
He's got his boosted like crazy. I mean, I don't care what he says. It's there.
But if you could take a picture of your CFC screens and a picture of your equalizer settings and send them to me, not that I'm going to use those, but just to see where you're going frequency-wise. I'd appreciate that because I've been fiddling with this for quite a while. So if you could do that, that'd be great. If you can't, that's no problem. But anyhow, I've noticed I get up in the morning at 20 to 4 every morning to go to work. And I have this frequency on, just listening for anybody. And there's a usual cast of characters on this time of, 20 to 4 in the morning. And I've also noticed that the guys get up on sideband, up on 3892, and I don't remember them being up there. And it's usually not much of a problem, but there's one guy, of course, he's about 5 kc wide. And I just don't get that. There's nobody above him. Of course, you guys have probably noticed this well before I have, since he uses frequency a lot. Something else I don't understand is that, this frequency in 3880, we're kind of shoehorned in here, and some guys are still, like I'm pretty wide right now, but I wouldn't do this if the guys were on 3880, I'd knock it down a little bit. So, anyhow, I don't understand. Hey, before I get off the frequencies, I'm going to try something. I'm going to go to another audio setup real quick, and let me see if you still hear that reverb. Hang on 1 second.
Sounds like feedback, like he's got headphones laying on the desk and he's feeding back through his headphones.
Okay, this is a different setup. This is going through an external equalization unit. Does this sound any different?
Yeah, do you have headphones on? Are you using headphones?
No, I am not.
I don't hear the feedback now. You know what it sounds like? It sounds like you had headphones and you're getting some very high frequency feedback through the headphones. When your S's on my pan adapter are twice as high as the rest of your audio, it sounds like it's right on the verge of feedback, like you had speakers on in the background.
Okay, well, I think obviously what's happening is I'm pushing the higher frequencies way more than I have to, and I have the frequencies set at places that I don't have.
That's what I said to begin with.
Perry, if you could send me those pictures of the CFC and this equalization, that might help. This is an outboard. This is the 528E. Do you still hear it?
Have all that boosted, that high stuff. On a still picture, I don't think it's going to show, but on a moving picture, you can really see it. Now you have no feedback. It sounds fine. No feedback.
I'm making a video recording, and when I'm done, I'll email you the screenshot of my EQs here in a second. I don't care. You can use it, do whatever you want with it. It's not proprietary, nothing special. And you'll see on the video how much high-end energy you have in your sibilants. I mean, it comes up 3 or 4 times the amount of the rest of your audio when you say S's. And now I can only hear it, so I can see you still have the high frequencies boosted now, but the only time I hear it is on this, the sibilants, is on that real, the high S's there. So it's much better. I can hear it just a tad, but it's 1,000 times better.
Okay, this is the way I wrote it for quite a long time. And not to beat this up too much because I won't do it again, but the audio is okay?
Let me get this emailed off to you here, Ed. Then you'll be able to see what my EQ curve looks like.
Okay, very good. Well, I've got to cut the highs now. Boy, it looks like I have also. So, thanks for pushing in the right direction. I really appreciate it. Anyhow, I guess the snow is supposed to start as of today, and Frank, one of the young fellows that worked that was into those, there's a new, I don't want to say Chromebook, but he was telling me about this new one out, and they started about $100 to, whatever you want to pay. I think that's what you're talking about. I when I'm upstairs fiddling, I just use my phone. I get a Galaxy Note 8, but it sure would be nice to have some sort of a tablet or something like that. So I think that's also in my future. So we shall see what happens. And AJ1G, I'm sorry, I didn't get your name. Like I said, I got the majority of your transmission, and I would have gotten it all, but that station up the band just blew the radio. So anyhow, over to you, Frank, and I appreciate the help today, guys. W2SDR from Kilo 8 Echo Whiskey Mike, and since I started this transmission, I backed it off a little bit more.
Yeah, good morning. Hi, Chris. Good morning, AJ1G in the group, W2SDR. Sticking here for another round or so. It's a Microsoft Surface Pro. They're real small and thin, like a 12-inch screen, and they come with a solid-state drive, 4 gig of RAM, and I was thinking of putting it in my car, using it as the computer link for my Fusion setup, and so I could run the Wires X software mobile, and get one of those cheapy inverters. I think they're like $29 on Amazon to convert the 12 volts to 120, just enough to use the. Actually, it's cheaper than buying the DC charging cord for a laptop. Buying one of those little inverters, and so that's on the agenda for the future. I'm not ready to do it yet because I want to try the older laptop that I have already here. But just another little digital audio project here. Perry knows I've really been into the Yaesu Fusion C4 FM digital audio. Been having a whole lot of fun with that the last few weeks. So, okay, I'll continue to move it around here. I guess I was turning it to Perry, and I lost Chris in the mix. So I haven't been writing down orders or anything else. So I'm going to turn it to Perry, and I think he's the one that let Chris in here. So there you go. W3MMR in the group, W2SDR.
WB8DMX.
W2SDR in the group, W3MMR. Real good. And I'll send it up to Chris. And then back to Ed. If he's sticking around, then do you pop? I guess you say you'll stick in here for one more. Ed, I just emailed you screenshots of both my EQs there, so you'll see what I'm doing and how much cut I have in the top end of things. And it sounds towards the end of your transmission there, I mean, it was almost you couldn't even hear it anymore. So I think my father hit the nail on the head with that one, with the high frequency ringing with all the boost. So real good. I'm glad we got that. We're able to get that straight. Good morning, Chris. Good to hear you, bud. Decent signal down this way. Sometimes it's a little difficult between you and I in the morning for some reason. I don't know why. But nevertheless, good signal here this morning. The Central Electronics is sounding great. I need to feed my fish. My fish is looking at me like I need to feed him. He's staring right at the food. Just making another cup of coffee, another pour over here, Chris. What am I drinking? The Vermont Maple Pecan coffee here. So second 20 ouncer in the new Bubba mug, and getting up and and getting boosted, getting ready to go, getting some coffee in the veins here. And maybe we'll switch over to the DX100. It's been warming up all morning. So anyway, yeah, that's all I got. So we'll keep it moving, even because the group is growing. So back up to you, Chris, and then you send it back out to Ed. AJ1G in the group from W3MMR.
Whiskey Boat, well, the Nitro Show. Yeah, you get that braking station, Perry? Need to turn over. What frequency do you think you're on, Perry? Well, either your calibration is off or mine is off, because you're a bit low. I haven't actually put a cursor on it, but you're on the low side. I would say, oh, Perry must be on the DX100 this morning.
No, he's I'm getting there.
Man's flying high.
My counter's not saying anything. I gotta go figure that out. But that's
Noise, Perry.
The basic SDR dongle is 25 megahertz plus and up tuning range, and then the up converter, the tunes from 5 to 25 megs translates up to 125 megahertz plus IF, and you have to when you set it up, you have to crank in an offset, and every once in a while it just restart it and it'll come back, but yeah, it looks like it's quite a bit off right now. Well, I'll fix it. Hey, it's AM. I'm sure I'm in your passband. Yeah, and Ed, well, you probably figured out by now. This is Chris, AJ1G. I think I forgot to mention that on my rambling discourse about wind damage over here. So, okay, very good, Perry. Okay, on the pour over, we had just made mine. The French roast. We actually picked up two more 20-ounce bags at $10 each at Home. My wife was over at Home Goods the other day, and yeah, Frank, I understand you're a Starbucks drinker. I was telling Perry, you want to, I don't know if you buy it over the internet cheap or what, but right now the Home Goods stores, at least in our area, and I imagine probably everywhere, I don't know, maybe they're saying all the ones in Connecticut and Rhode Island, they got a lot of big 20-ounce bags of various Starbucks for $10. And the only thing you have to do is watch the dates, because it seems like they must buy up lots of stuff that are getting close to their due date. But if you're going to use it right away, it's absolutely fine. Hopefully, yeah. So I just got two more. I go through about one every 2 weeks. Yeah, I have a Yeti mug, Perry. Yeah, my son gave it to me. I don't think I ever bought it. They seem to be all their stuff seems way overpriced. And, the thing is not spill-proof. I did a long diatribe about that, about it after I had it in my Tacoma. And the other thing is it's too big. It doesn't fit in my cup holder right, so the damn thing would fall over and then spill coffee over the seat because it's not really spill-proof. I launched into a diatribe how in the Navy they probably wouldn't allow, you're probably aware of that, if you took a coffee off the mess decks, you had to have it in a spill-proof mug. I said, they never let these in the Navy. I don't know, maybe they do. And then I lost the little magnetic, it's actually a pretty ingenious design, the magnetic lid closure cap. I mean, granted, it doesn't seal, but as far as keeping the thing clean, it's pretty good because you just pop that little magnetically coupled slider off the lid. The problem is mine fell off. Actually, luckily, my son, I did it up my son Dave's place. He's got it. I just keep forgetting to get it back from him. They probably wanted like $10 for a replacement, knowing how everything else is priced. I saw, they got like beer coolers, these big, heavy, beautifully made things. It's way a ton. big like, pure, how many quart, ice chest, at $300. They were selling, latest in Yeti, the cozies, the little cups you stick around a beer to keep, like $10. Come on, get real. Well, anyhow, diatribe on Yeti mugs here. Hey, you guys, I don't know if Perry, you were listening. I know you weren't in there, but maybe you were listening. The Lonely Guy's Net was hilarious yesterday. The subject of the day is actually suggested by Bear. He never actually checks in, but he suggested, have you ever fried a radio? And boy, there were some spectacular ones. I think the two most spectacular ones are Frank WA1GF said he was testing some new, 4CX1000 rig or something like that. And the tube apparently arced over, and Frank said, it looks like I had created the sun inside the room. And apparently when he tried to shut things off, the breaker contact had welded themselves shut, and he had to, scramble around to figure out, it took him a while to get things shut down. He had to crank down a variac or something because he couldn't get the breaker to trip. And that was hilarious. It looks like I created the sun. I was just laughing. I didn't really fell off my chair in that one. And Tim had a good one about when he was doing 49-meter pirate station when he was way down back in the old pork rot days, and he was driving around town listening to the signal, and all of a sudden, and his paranoia about being a pirate, doing pirate radio, he thought the FCC had, surrounded his house and shut the transmitter down, and he was getting all in a big sweat about, he's going to get, the FCC was at the house, his mom's house. And he got there and nothing was there, except the house was filled with smoke. The transmitter had, crapped out and shorted down and filled the whole house with smoke. But there was a lot of stories like that, it was really, really funny. I was hoping he might have recorded that one. That one was a classic. It goes on for hours. I mean, that net is a fun net, especially when Tim gets in here. I don't know if anyone had a timer on him. He might have set a record on that story. So over at WB8DMX, not real strong here, but we'll see if I can pull you in better. Chris, AJ1G in Stonington, Connecticut. And Ed, yes, your audio cleaned up immensely, and I agree with Frank. It almost sounds like you had a set of headphones either on your head or on the desk, which is how I made that burst of feedback here. Monitor or an audio monitor, and it was just making acoustic feedback at high frequencies. Over to WB8DMX and the nice group, the AM gang, AJ1G. He's marginal here.
Watching something kind of child come out. And Dr. VFO has a surgery going on and a few other things.
Part of the problem, it looks like the Penn State lumber dryer is on.
With the unit on the back of it and stuff there for USWR and all that stuff. guys. The weekend is up. It'll be a beautiful Sunday there for sure. I think everybody will pick me up out on this end. You know, I'll pass over to the next station. I first thought was a kid. I didn't get his name. Well, good to hear you out there up in northeastern part of Ohio. I'm Kevin with WB8DMX. K8EWM, I believe, if I'm mistaken, correct me if you recall. I didn't recall something wrong, but good morning to you. Pick up, my friend, and take it away. From Whiskey Bravo 8, Delta Mike X-ray.
Okay, Kevin. Whiskey Bravo 8, Delta Mike X-ray, I believe, from K8E Echo Whiskey Mike. Well, I would have had a good copy on you, but it's here that's plaguing me, but it's not coming from your end. I think the vast majority of that Viking is doing well here otherwise, that's for sure. Perry, I got those screenshots. Thanks a bunch. That's something I can play with. You know, initially I had to admit I was looking at it and I say, well, that won't work. But then I said, well, listen, you idiot, listen to it. Of course it will. Of course it'll work. You know, different variables, different voice, different mic, but really not that far off on that stuff. So I think I'm boosting and using frequencies that I don't need. And of course you guys told me that. And it's quite obvious. So thanks a bunch. Maybe next time you hear me it'll be a little different. Going through the old symmetrics right now, so probably not the best, but at least you don't have to listen to that stuff. Not too much more here to add, guys. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to get out of here. Had my second cup of coffee, drinking decaf now, health reasons. Compliments is one of the worst things I've ever did with the amount of coffee I was drinking with the caffeine. I was drinking a lot, maybe like 6 cups a day. And even if I quit drinking coffee at like 5 o'clock in the evening, it still affected my sleep. My girlfriend Mary drinks coffee up till the time she goes to bed. She says it doesn't bother her, and I hear her rolling and tossing through in bed all night. So yeah, right. It affects people in different ways. It really does. So, Perry, I saw somewhere a video of your shack and all that. That's pretty impressive. And you look like a normal guy. I'm not accusing you of being normal. I'm just saying you look like a normal guy. Some of these guys take their picture and put it up there like, whoa. But you know what? I shouldn't judge. I'll tell you that right now. But I still will say, whoa. So over to you, Frank. I appreciate all the help, guys. You guys have a great day. Maybe I'll be in here next weekend sometime. W2SDR to pick it up. Thanks again, guys. K8E Echo Whiskey Mike. I'll listen out for a little while.
Yeah, okay. K8EWM signing out. W2SDR, and I'm going to sign out too. I'm going to move down the band, so we'll see you guys later. Chris, Perry, Ed, I'm not sure, and Kevin. 73 W3MMR. W2SDR.
No audio there. Make sure I got it. Okay. 7-3 to you, Pop. 7-3, Ed, great hearing you guys. Him here this morning. And Ed, you sound light years better now than you did. You'll hear it on the recording. I'll send you a link where you can check the YouTube channel here. Just search it a little bit later on, probably sometime before lunch, and you'll see it up there on the YouTube channel on the AM window. For anyone who doesn't know, just search the AM window on YouTube, and you'll see my YouTube channel. So for any SWLs out there, or anyone listening that doesn't know, which most of you do know about it by now, that's where it is and where you can find it. And I enjoy the recordings, Kevin. I really do. Number one, I enjoy when I make changes, being able to listen to myself. What I usually do is, since I'm using this software that I'm using is a little bit different here, as far as the way I can record my own audio. I used to be able to just use the monitor audio from the and feed that into my recording program, but I have my audio set up a little differently now. using an external USB mic pre, a PreSonus mic pre. And so what I do is everybody besides me I'm receiving into my Anon, okay? And then right at the beginning of my transmission, sometimes you won't hear me speaking right away. You'll just see the carrier or hear the carrier. It's because I'm switching off the receive audio here, the virtual audio cable in the Anon, and turning on WebSDR, which is generally Steve W1QIX's, because generally I come in there fairly well most of the times during the day. I'm giving that SDR a good signal, so for my audio, it's coming through a WebSDR. Sometimes when I can't get through there, I'll choose another WebSDR, but everybody's audio besides mine is being received locally, besides myself there. So it's a little bit of work and juggling to make it happen. Sometimes I'll forget to press the mute button, because I got to unmute the tab in the browser and turn my speakers down. It's a whole process, so sometimes I'll forget. And so some videos you'll notice that I have no audio. Everybody else has audio, but I don't. It's because I forgot to do something. That's why. So anyway, oh man, real good, Chris, on everything, on the Starbucks coffee. I'm not a big Starbucks coffee fan. I like the Verona that my father drinks. It's okay. I don't know, man. I like flavor coffees. I'm a foofy kind of guy. Apparently, I'm a regular guy. Ed says I'm not a regular. I'm far from regular, Ed. But thank you for the compliment. But I get something. People look at my picture on my QRZ page or my website, and they see me for the first time, see that I have lots of tattoos. My hand is tattooed. I'm a younger guy. I have, gauges in my ears. I have holes I can stick a pencil through in my ear, a pen through, I'm bearded. I'm not your typical, ham, with two sleeves of tattoos. You don't see too many hams that look like me, which I think is cool. I like kind of standing out from the crowd, a little bit, and being a normal guy that you wouldn't expect to be in a hobby like this. But hey, man, everybody's a nerd deep down inside. I don't care who you are. Everybody is a nerd. That's for something, and I'm damn proud of it. I'm weird, I'm a nerd, and I love every minute of it. Anyway, Kevin, you're holding up well here. I think the other guys are having a little bit of trouble with you, but you're Q5 here. Not real strong. I mean, not the strongest I've heard you, but you're definitely in there. There's some weird propagated interference that's on the entire northeast corner. I see it on multiple WebSDRs, and everybody. My father was hearing it, I'm hearing it, and it's been in there. At this time, it seems like a lot lately. Not every day, but I'd say 3 out of 7 days a week. It's been in there. So I don't know what it is. Chris said something about Penn State. I don't know. So anyway, up to you, Chris. And we'll see if anybody else wants to join. See where Kevin is. Where's KK4GZQ? I talked to him last night. He better get his butt out of bed. AJ1G, W3MMR, MMMR.
Chicken, licking the chicken. Okay, very good, Terry. And yes, I reset my SDR, and my calibration offset corrected itself, and everyone looks like they're right on frequency here. Yeah, that Penn State stuff, you probably remember from last year, Perry. I don't know if you were all that active. I know you kind of came on strong here on a band last year. But right around this time last year, there was this one weekend. There was this, it started on a Friday night, and it persisted till 9 a.m. on Monday morning after the FCC got a call. And the FCC apparently knew exactly what it was, and it went away. It this broadband swaths of hummy energy. It was like, a lot of 120 hertz, 60 hertz buzzing hum, and it's just broadband energy. It was just blanketing a whole chunk of the band right around 3885. And a lot of people heard it, and a lot of these guys with those, not the SDR like the K8EWM. The K8EWMs, you can actually, build an array of multiple K8EWM stations and RDF with them. And everyone was localizing on State College, Pennsylvania. And it's never been confirmed, but the theory is that there was either research corporation associated with the university or was at the university was doing research into might have even been government-funded research to secure plywood glue, glued plywood panels using RF energy, and somehow. And it may have been delivered to some wise guy down there with a hand background. Somehow got this energy irradiated. And after a lot of people found it, it was, and it just went away. And like about 9 o'clock in the morning, right around the time some other place was there to get a phone call, And that's what this stuff that I was seeing. I don't see it right now. What's interesting is right after I said, hey, it sounds like the Penn State lumber dryer, I saw it go away. Or at least a few minutes later, it seemed to go away. It was very strong on the K8EWM SDR. You probably saw it too. It was like these big swaths, and when you zoomed out to look at a whole chunk of the band, it was very clear. You could see these big swaths of energy centered right around this frequency. You're a Generation X or a millennial. I don't know, Perry. I don't know where the boundaries cross. But I work with a lot of young guys in the last few, over the last, the various years of my career, and lately, a lot of guys with tattoos and paraphernalia, and we had one of our technicians, the group we did a lot of data acquisition. We had a whole crew of techs that, Rhode Island, the big Rhode Island Electronics Trade School, Rhode Island Tech guys, and places like that. Some of them had double E degrees, and but a lot of them had tattoos. A lot of them had things in their ears and all. We had this one guy. He had so much of this, and one of my buddies, actually a guy who went to school with Mike at UCB, up in that neck of the woods in New York. This guy's a real character. He says some outrageous things. He started, because of all the stuff this guy had, adorning his nose and ears, he started calling him tackle box. And that being stuck. That was the guy's name, if the guy wanted to, I suppose he could, go to HR about something like that, but he kind of laughed about it. Actually, he took that on as his nickname, old tackle box. He's a good CB handle. Delaware Leadfoot, it was something like Delaware Leadfoot. Well, anyhow, where are we going with all this? Oh, I don't know. Yeah, where is Kevin? I was wondering, Corey, did you record the military yet? Yesterday, I wanted to see how the BC-191 sound. I think I had the audio a little too hot at the beginning, but I got it back down, and I know it sounded better towards the end. In fact, I ran that transmitter on the Lonely Guys, and actually I worked with N8IE to take the Freenet check-in list because Mark K8EWM he was down actually in Orlando. That's why he wasn't there yesterday. So, yeah, it was a fun net and enjoyed operating the old 191. I'll have to send you a picture I sent out to a few of the guys of the big 211s rolling away. It's the closest thing I have. These guys that have pictures of their 4x1 rigs with the big tubes all lit up. I've got the 191 with 4 211s with tubes that make the audio files drool for some reason. It pissed off the amateur community because they've driven the price of those things through the roof. Anyway, let's turn it over to WB8DMX, see if he's copying out there. I think that's Kevin. And the AM/AM gang. I'm going to be getting out of here pretty soon. I'm going to get cleaned up, head down early for church, and hang out on Stonington Point, and maybe work some 40-meter, 80-meter gray line DX before church. Church is at 8 now, so I have a little extra time to do it. So WB8DMX and the AM/AM gang, AJ1G. K8EWM or N. I didn't know we find out. I really did, but other than that, should be coming aboard here a little bit there, I guess. He should be getting up this morning, first cup of coal this morning, and we're going to call sign out there for sure. Oh, to you, I guess, who was out there. He's still out there, K8EWM, and Whiskey W8. Delta Mike X-ray here on the old Viking, too.
Ed signed, and his call was Kilo 8 Echo Whiskey Mike EWM. Yeah, Kilo 8 Echo Whiskey Mike. And you start. That was a little rough go around there, Kevin. You're starting to fade out a little bit. The band's definitely changing. So we'll see. I don't know how things are going to continue to work, but we'll try to keep it going here. Real good, Chris. I'm trying to get down to the Stonington Point. Sounds like a great little spot, man. I've seen pictures from there. That it just seems great. That'd be a nice mobile spot to talk from. If I move back to Jersey, and I'll be about 40 minutes from the shore. I can get to the closest point, probably about 40 minutes from over where my father lives there. So, but not here. It would take about an hour and 15 minutes from here probably to get down there. I mean, it's still, not that far, but it's definitely not as close to where you're at. You're right down the street there, so. I'm guessing Stonington Point is in Stonington. Well, what else was I going to say? There was something else I was going to say. Oh, the noise. I remember not that long ago. Do you remember every once in a while it was you know, it was like and it would last for however long, and it was definitely really. I was always on Steve K8EWM's web SDR. It was very loud up your guys' way. It wasn't quite as loud here for me. It had to be quiet here for me to hear it, but I could still hear it down here. My father could hear it over where he's at. But it wasn't the same as what we're experiencing this morning. And that noise is getting, I guess, kind of better. It's kind of focused, narrowed itself up a little bit, but it's still right here on 3885 right now. And that's what's hurting you a little bit, Kevin, is that noise, whatever the hell it is. But anyway, the point about that was, I guess Steve K8EWM had mentioned one day that somebody figured out who it was, what it was, called them, and they said, we don't mean to be interfering with anybody, so it wasn't the FCC that called them. It was a ham that called them, and they were like, we don't want to be doing that, and it stopped, and it hasn't come back ever since. So that's that, and I think it was in New Hampshire, Massachusetts, and I'm in the middle of the beginning, of the millennial era. Early, like the first year. Gen X was right before mine, but I'm 100% in that group, that age group, because of just everything I've read on it, and I'm a throwback here to days of old with everything that I do and everything I enjoy, and so I would say I'm more Generation X than anything, but officially I guess I would be called a millennial. Anyway, back over to you, Chris, for your final. I'm going to take a break for a minute. I got to run down the hall, but we'll be back. AJ1G, W3MMR.
You're not strapping in that's swathing. It actually has a changing over time. It was like, kind of like a given swath will increase over quite a few seconds. So I don't know what all that means other than it's an unstable source, I guess. But yeah, it is very intense. Let me zoom back on K8EWM here. And zoom out. Oh yeah. Right now I'm seeing those swaths from about 3870 up to about 3900, and even maybe a little beyond that. Yeah, there's some very light pieces of it, a little below that, and it's very, very intense right on this frequency, almost in the center of it, on 3885. Very, very strong stuff. It's not horrible as far as you were totally covering it, Terry, but I could see it in the holes between you and adjacent stations, and that's the particular interference source you were referring to that was up by that was actually very near to the K8EWM SDR location. Yeah, that was some sort of ionospheric sounder run by MIT, I think. One of the Boston universities, there might have been MIT, was running some sort of ionospheric sounder at a site very close to Townsend, and that was found by N1CS, who I guess used Kiwi SDRs, and then like local. He started just driving around with a receiver in his vehicle and DF'd it to this particular location. I guess he just went there and knocked on the door, and they let him in. Oh, sorry, we'll fix that. That was pretty cool. Oh, hey, that stuff just stopped. That's it's changing. But I don't know. I think there's something nefarious going on, and Anyhow, yeah, okay, I'm being a millennial. Yeah, what year is considered the start of the millennials? Over.
Hold on, let me look real quick, Chris. And Chris, I want to get Dan in here. N8IE has been trying to break in, and he broke in last time, and I forgot, and I sent it to you. Damn it, hold on. And I sent it to you by accident, because I forgot. I'm sorry, man. In 1981 to 1996? No way. Researchers use early 1980s as starting birth years and the mid-90s to early 2000s as ending birth years for the millennials. So yeah, and from 1981 to 1996. So I just fall smack dab in the middle of that.
Like I guess David be a Generation Xer. He was born in '78, and Ben was born in '82. I can't say there's big differences in their personalities. I wouldn't say it's like because one's a Generation Xer and one's a millennial. But some of them, I don't know. We'll see. All right, very good. Well, yeah, I'm going to get going here, and good morning to N8IE. I can sort of hear him, but not really strong. All right, I'll tell you, he's probably not hearing me. I'll turn it back to you. 73, good morning. Have a good day. I got a couple of projects here to do. Got to get my 40-meter antennas. Well, I got the radiating element up yesterday, but I got to do some work on the radials. I'm putting quick disconnect clips on the lanyards or the lines that hold the radials up, so I can more easily take the thing up and down. I got to put those on today and put it back in service. And then I got a woodworking project to build a couple of bookcases. I got it all designed on paper now. I got all my shelf spacings worked out, and ta-da. And it's going to be a good day to do it. No rain and not too cold, so got to get going. 73 all, good morning. Have a great day. God bless you all. God bless America. W3MMR AJ13.
KK4GZQ, good morning.
Alright, Dan, pick it up. N8IE, turn it to Andrew, N2YKX. Andrew, turn it back to me. Or Andrew, turn it to Kevin, KK4GZQ. Kevin, turn it to Kevin number 2, WB8DMX. And then back to me. So, Dan, N8IE, N8IE in the group. Good morning, Kevin and Andrew. This is W3MMR.
I'm back in here, Perry. Kilo 8 Echo Whiskey Mike.
All right, Ed's back. Go ahead, Dan.
Good morning, everyone. This is Dan. N8IE. Let me get on frequency just a little bit higher. Okay, there we go. Yeah, well, the Ranger this morning with the amplifier. That's something you don't hear me say often. Both of us are S200. We got that thing saved and salvaged from the somebody had to retune and set up for 11 meters. So we've tried to correct all that. I'm hoping it sounds good. It looks good on the meter. Everything's moving in the right direction. The output looks good. So maybe you can come back real quickly there, Perry, and tell me if is the audio okay on this? Awesome. You guys don't know how much this makes me happy. For real. Been struggling with this little Ranger for a while. And it's a good radio, I like it. But I just didn't have that current. So I got this thing and got it going and I'm really happy and really proud. Now I just got to go through and time to uglify it.
It's got a big hole drilled on the face plate that we got a name for it. And somebody had spray painted the face black. I guess that was better than the green for some reason. We're going to have to see about getting that fixed. Strange fan conditions this morning. Wow. We wasn't on yesterday. I don't know if it's carryover from that or not. But anyway, I'm going to send it over for N2YKX, I believe it was, out there in the edge, if you can hear me. This is November 8th, India Echo, the very happy Ian, Kettering, Ohio.
Thanks, Dan.
Yeah, I can hear you.
But definitely got things sounding good. Got a better copy on this to give you a better report on your audio, but it was sounding good. And good to hear another ranger in the air. Okay, so just woke up and another day in paradise, I guess. Again, just coffee up, so I want to hang around for a while and probably get some coffee, but yep. See, I guess it's a visit, so I could hear Kevin, so I'm sure you can hear me. We kind of have like a pipeline music. I always hear it. Every lot I hear it. So, Kevin, I'm coming on over to you. Good morning. KK4GZQ and N2YKX.
KK4GZQ. Morning to you, Andrew. Good, solid copy into the Lexington, Kentucky area this morning. Good morning to you, Dan. Working my way backwards here, N8IE. Dan on the Ranger with the SV200 this morning. Quite strong. Audio sounds great. Wondering what kind of microphone you're using. Kevin, I heard you really strong one with you and Perry. WB8DMX, and sounded good. I'm not sure if you're on the, I'd say you're on the Viking this morning. Viking 2, I believe. And I heard Chris. I didn't know if Chris was signing out or what, but a decent copy on Chris this morning, but I've got a lot of sideband interference on either side of us this morning, and the HQ129 is not the pick of the litter I have here for adjacent, channel rejection or whatever you want to call it, but it's wide, and I get a lot of interference on this rig, and the crystal selectivity and the phasing, they do help, but they don't do it like the actual filtering does on the HQ180 or some of the other rigs, especially the Flex or something like that. Perry, sounded great down here this morning, and I guess you're at the bottom of the list or top of the list, and I did hear a station, a Kilo 8 station, say something to Perry, so maybe Perry will get him back, and I heard his call, but I know I'm turning it to Kevin. So, Dan, wondering what you're doing. Are you doing anything like a 2E26 or anything like that to reduce your output on the Ranger for the SV200, or just what? And then what kind of microphone are you running on it? Since I'm doing something similar here, I've just had a few questions for you. WB8DMX to take it, KK4GZQ. Good morning from Nonesuch.
I love that song. If you were doing the KK4GZQ in the group, N8IE. Well, the heck of a boy, I used to live in many miles ago. I used to work up there in Lower Ohio. They had another something that was many years ago. Everybody gets that something out there for sure, and out there, I lost him earlier. I'm on the Viking too. There's the one thing not there to make you on the road. As the sun went around the Viking. and design it for the beautiful commercial quality audio there with the D104 for sure. But other than that, it's 30 degrees, guys, 30 degrees here in Columbus, Ohio. All the snow is just about gone out in the front yard. The main highways are beautiful here in Columbus. Interstate 71, Interstate 70 east and west, it looks beautiful. Other than that, the health and welfare is really good around this shack there for sure. Still working on my old Lincoln Continental, my 98 cow car. I put a new start on there, but I tell you, I don't know how Ford designed that. I put a 3-bolt part in the starter with a solenoid in the way. Patrick Dickens getting that thing out of there. We got it going. She's been sitting inside the garage for a couple of years, and I took the fuel pump and probably seized up on an electric fuel pump. I thought about going out there and get it jacked up and mount it a couple of times and see if that thing will come back alive, but it's just going to pull the thing up and try to get a replacement there for sure. Okay, Perry, W3MMR in the group. If you're out there, pretty well, man, from Whiskey Bulldog 8. Welcome my big tree on the back end.
All right, Kevin. I'm going to turn it to Ed. That's K8EWM, Kilo 8, Echo Whiskey Mike, Ed in Ohio. I'll turn it to you, Ed, then you turn it back to me. And that's going to be at the top of the list. I'll be at the top. K8EWM is back from W3MMR.
All right, Perry, real good. Well, thanks. W3MMR in the group from Kilo 8 Echo Whiskey Mike. You know what I was doing, Perry. I was fiddling with this audio. Before I go any further, can you hear me all right? Okay. Yeah, I mimicked some of your settings there. Actually, the majority of them. And, well, it sure looks different. So, I'm not going to sit here and do an audio thing with all these guys here. So, anyhow, hopefully that has repaired the issue we were talking about earlier. I had you know what I had, you heard it. So, real good. Good morning to all. My name is Ed, Echo Delta. Morning, Kevin, and a couple of others that weren't in here when I was in here earlier. My name is Ed, Echo Delta, as I just said. I'm about 55 miles east of Cleveland. And I'll give it back to you, Perry. I'm not going to fiddle with this too much. Just real quick, the audio spectrum and fidelity, is there any?
Yeah. I think you sound fine. I think you sound good. I still hear it a little bit. But it's not nearly as good. But as far as the audio goes, I think you got plenty of fidelity. It sounds great.
All right. Well, okay. Thanks. I'm going in the right direction. There's too many guys in here. Maybe for another time. But thank you very much. Anyhow, back to you. It's snowing here in Geneva, Ohio. And you know what? I'm sorry. I did not accuse you of being normal or looking normal. I just said maybe you're going in that direction. You know, tattoos and holes in your ears and everything. You must look kind of like me. Over to you.
That's great. Yeah, well, no, there's nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with being normal. All right, Ed. Well, great hearing you. Yeah, we'll talk later. If you have any questions, just email me, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. But great to hear you back in there. And good morning to everyone else. You'll get the audio straight. We'll get it all figured out. There's enough heads that we can put together to figure out what that little bit of reverb is there. So we'll get you straight. So good morning, Kevin. Good morning, Andrew. Andrew, you started to fade on me, bud. You definitely started to fade. So the band's going through some changes at the moment. But I'm sure you'll come back up because it's getting a little later. So, and Dan, congratulations on the Ranger. That thing sounds like a Ranger should. That thing's nice and loud. It's punchy. You know, I can hear you. And you're just cutting right through this mess. And there's a lot of QRN here this morning. With this atmospheric noise or this whatever it is that's been hovering right around here from 3875 to 3895 and drifting down the band. the entire time. But you're cutting right through it. And Kevin, DMX, you're still holding in there. The Viking sounds great. I would love to have a Ranger, man. You know, but they're just so much money. People want so much money for them, you know what I'm saying? If I could get one, you know, for a deal, yeah, then I'd buy it, but I mean, I don't want to spend $700 or $800 on a Johnson Ranger, you know? I mean, that's a lot of money. But I guess if that's what they go for, it's what they go for. But I'd love to have a boat anchor rig I can drive my amplifier with, you know? Even though it's not that big of a difference. Well, between a Ranger would be, but if it was a Viking 2, it would be very close to this at 175 watts output. And you guys hear me on my DX100 half the time. People can't tell the difference between the two rigs. That thing just got a D104 on and 100 watts, and this has got a whole bunch of audio processing, an amplifier, and 200 watts of carrier. So, I guess that's pretty cool. Anyway, keep it moving. It's 26 degrees here. It's chilly. I've been on here since about 4 o'clock this morning on my second cup of coffee and enjoying the morning. So great to hear everyone. And Kevin, you're coming in real strong, buddy. You're about 25 over, man. Great signal up here this morning. All right. N8IE, back to you, Dan. From W3MMR.
Alrighty, thank you very much. W3MMR. N8IE. I'm going to get to your question here in a minute, Kevin, but Perry, just a quick comment, my friend. I looked at your webpage, and I saw you. The tats look nice. The piercings are fine. Don't worry about it, man. You look great, kid. And talking about generations, I don't know what generation I'm considered. I'm a 62 model year and 58 years old outside, but the inside, hell, I don't know. I'm still 12 years old. And Harry, or Kevin, rather. All right. I'm using the D104. We're using the head off of the D104 on a boom mic, so it's unamplified. It's just the mic and going right to the radio. Sorry, I ain't had enough coffee yet here this morning. Got to get my stuff together. But yeah, I tell you what, I'm very happy with this amplifier. Did a lot of work to it, getting it realigned and replacing a couple of parts, but my God, it looks great on the meters. Everything's the way it should be. Now, Kevin, real quickly, you had asked me another question other than the mic about the Ranger, so if you would, ask me that other question again real quick, please.
Okay, just wondering how you're getting your carrier output level down for the, what is that? That runs a pair of 572s, maybe, the amplifier. So how are you getting your carrier level down to where it satisfies the amplifier there, over?
Okay, let me see right there. I kick the amp on. I'm getting about 12 watt carrier into the amp, and basically, Kevin, it's just turning the drive down on the radio. I tuned it at full power into the dummy load, got everything set up, and then it's back to drive off, so I got about right around 12 watts out to go into the amplifier. Over.
Okay, but you know what? That's about the same thing I do here, just the drive. I mean, I don't see what the big issue is with them. I can get my grid and my plate current, you know, where it's satisfactory for the 2E. I run a 2E26 in this one, so I can get those right to, you know, where it's satisfactory for the transmitter as far as I know. Go ahead, Dan.
Okay. Yeah, that was taught to me by an old friend of mine, K8EWM. Daryl lives in around here, not too far. He's been my mentor on this vintage gear over the years. And he taught me about soft loading. I used to have a 2-tube 811 amp, an Ameritron. And he taught me about how to soft load that thing and how to keep my drives down. And yeah, he helped me out a lot on lowering this stuff. And then I got a nice little tutorial from a gentleman, I forget his name, but he was also telling me about the drive, keeping it down. You know, you definitely don't want to overdrive it. Those 572s are good tubes, but there's no sense in overdriving it just for a couple of more watts. Good Lord. You know, 5-10 watts are not really going to combat conditions like we have this morning. So not worth the effort and wasting the tubes and putting the strain on the whole system. The reports that you guys are giving me, and they're greatly appreciated, telling me that I got everything pretty much in balance here, so really everything's just the way it is. You can't beat it, you know, no sense in trying. To N2YKX from November 8 India Echo. I'm going to go get a cup of coffee and I'll be right back.
And we're getting pretty close to pre-nut time for the Florida AM group, guys.
I'm gonna go I do my KSDR there with the
Okay, I love that N2YKX, I think. Kilowatt Echo Whiskey Mike. Very good. Good copy all the way around, guys. I'm going to make this my last one. I'll say 7.3 and go that route. I got to run upstairs and do a bunch of things. Perry, maybe I'll be in touch. Who knows? But seem to be going in the right direction, I think. I'm going to sign here, fellas. Got up so early. Not as early as Perry, but wow. On my day off. Must be insanity. W3MMR 7.3 from Kilowatt Echo Whiskey Mike.
Yeah, it's 7.3 to you, Ed. And I'll turn it to Kevin, WB8DMX. You'll make your final. And then Kevin, over to you, GZQ. And I'll say 7.3 there at the end. WB8DMX. And then we'll turn the frequency over to the Florida AM net. It's going to start here real soon. So, W3MMR.
Okay, Fred. Ed, you take care of yourself. Right there for sure. Good sounding station on this end on the 300 National. Florida, thanks a lot. And keep up with your YouTube page. Like I said, I really do enjoy it there for sure. Okay, N8IE. Everybody take care of After my truck's over, so I don't KK4GZQ. Take care of yourself, Kevin. We'll take a little team on the old paper trail. WB8DMX. Take care, guys.
Oh, I love the phonetics. That right there is one of the best I've heard, Kevin. Whiskey Bulldog 8 Delta Mike X-ray. Anyway,
That's just me. Anyway, Kevin, have a great day. Let me get on frequency here.
WB8DMX in the group, KK4GZQ. Dan, Ranger sounds good. I've been running mine the same way you're doing that there for a lot of years now. I don't know. They say to make a lot of mods, and they say that it's a better way to do it and what have you, and fine. But I was told in the beginning that this would work, and I've stayed with her instruction talking about Liz. And you know, it's worked for me, so I've just not made any moves to go with anything that reduces your screen voltage, your plate voltage, or what have you. I just went this route, and it seems to work. Anyway, hope some of you guys will be making Dayton this year. Looking forward to meeting you, Dan. And Dan, I'm excited. I'm glad you've got your station back up and running, and you sound good, buddy. Ed, there was just a little bit of that reverb right at the end of your words every now and then. It seemed like when you raised your voice just a little bit, you could hear just a little more of it. But otherwise, you got it real close, sounding good. And Perry, talk to Don. Keep talking to Don down there. I think he's got 2 Rangers actually. And I think he's got one, that needs some repair. Talk to Don. Anyway, and Andrew, good deal on the NC183, kind of being comparable to the HQ129 X-ray on being a little wide. But what a great receiver! I love this old receiver. I got it in a trade with it, and also got a BC348 receiver with it, and it works well. Perry, here it comes to you. That's it for me. Getting close to pre-net here. W3MMR, KK4GZQ. Good morning, all. Thanks for being there.
KK4GZQ. In the end of the group here from W3MMR. Oh, real good, Kevin. Great to hear you, buddy. I'm glad you got in there. I was looking forward to talking to you this morning. I always look forward to talking to you. You make it just that much better here in the mornings. With your positive attitude, all your interesting comments and everything. So 2 thumbs up, buddy, and you're always sounding great. Big signal. I guess you're on the Ranger this morning as well. It sounds great. Sounds really, really good, man. So, maybe I'll text Don today. He called me. I got to call him back because he did call me. I did have a nice about 45-minute conversation with him on the phone the one night, just talking radio, man, and it was a great conversation. So maybe Don's listening. If you're listening, Don, feel free to call me. Anyway, we'll see. 7-3. Great to talk to you, Dan. I'll second everything Kevin said. It sounded really good. And now it's time to make those slight improvements, to get the audio right where you want it. It's all about where, with audio, it's all about where you want it. You're at the point where you sound good. Now it's up to you, to sound how you want to sound. So, kudos to you on that, and I'm glad you got it up and running. 7-3 to you, Kevin. WB8DMX, great to talk to you as always. 7-3 to you, Andrew, N2YKX, great to hear you, buddy. And we'll catch up with you a little later this evening, I'm sure. And 7-3 to you, Ed, K8EWM. And like I said, feel free to email me, and I'll help you out any way I can. And we got to get Thetis on there. We gotta get you up and going on Thetis. 7-3, guys. Take care. W3MMR.
7-3, guys. N8IE. Appreciate everything.
See you, Dan.
Have a good one out there, Dan. I hear you down here in Texas.
Is that you, Jimmy?
Yeah, it sure was, Paper. But I'm cheating on using the Alabama SDR. Sounded real good on it. You're just barely above my noise floor here down in Texas now, Dan.
Well, that was me. That was Perry. But I think Dan got out of there. But anyway, Dan, if you're in there, you're being heard in Texas. 7-3, guys. W3MMR.
Nice, and good morning, Jimmy, N8IE.
Also, Dan, I texted your cell phone, but I think I may have a wrong number for you now because I never get a reply from it. But anyway, 73, I'm listening to you on the Alabama receiver. Bye. K5NSN.